What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're really going to get the creative juices flowing. 30 different ways that you can find your next property to flip. Now, I really think it's incredibly important to crack the lead generation side if you're a house flipper, because the more deals that you get to offer on, obviously you're going to get deeper deals, right? And lead generation is such an important tool, and most newer investors really struggle with finding deals in different ways and avenues to help find those deals. So hopefully this video really helps you guys. It's put together of years of experience. You know, before I was a lender, I had a wholesale business. We had over 20 agents, always out there looking for deals. So we found a lot of unique ways to source those. So let's kick it off. The first one, I did actually make another video about this, and it's utilizing realtors, right? Realtors are an incredibly value tool when it comes to finding deals because there's so many of them, and different realtors, they deal with different types of properties. Some of them specifically deal with investment properties. They deal with foreclosures. They work with investors. So go back to that other video and watch it, but it basically entails get a list of all your realtors and find different campaigns to run to those realtors, and you are guaranteed to get leads. Okay, the second one is just jump on the MLS, right? If you don't have a realtor in your team, I would suggest trying to find a friend or a family member that's a realtor. Get with them and get access to the MLS with them, and offer on all the houses which are distressed houses, right? Everything that gets posted, it depends what market you're in, but here in Houston, we have, 30 to 40 distressed properties listed on the MLS every single day. So it's not a bad practice, and it's not bad to jump on there, build rapport with that realtor, but also offer on those houses. You can quickly create your formula that you guys have been learning on this channel to be able to just automatically shoot it out. We've actually seen a lot of investors even implement AI now, where properties are listed and it can calculate your offer for you and send that out. So every single morning you've already got 10 to 15 offers going out. And eventually those offers are going to start to stick, right? The third one is bandit signs. Now, bandit signs used to really have their place. We don't use them anymore. And we've really kind of seen a fatigue with them. I think people are sick of seeing the bandit signs, but you can post those, especially if you're trying to add wholesaling into your arsenal. It's a great way to find buyers. You can just go to an intersection and drop a sign in that says, we buy houses, or we buy houses as is, or we sell houses to investors if you're looking for buyers. It's still a great tool. It's fairly inexpensive to go and buy 50 bandit signs, write them up, and then jump in a car on a weekend and drop those signs off at busy intersections, right? That might be a great way to do it. You can buy pre-populated bandit signs that already have we buy houses on there, and then you're just putting your number. I would suggest using maybe a Google Voice number or a CallRail number. Those are some of the things that we utilize to not have all these calls coming in on our personal number, right? The second thing is you're going to be out, driving a lot, and you're going to see signs in neighborhoods that say for rent, right? And they might not even be listed on the MLS. So call every single for rent sign you see, because you know that property is vacant, and the landlord or the owner is paying property tax on that. They might have a mortgage on that. They're definitely paying taxes on that. So every single month that property remains vacant, they have an expense. So it might be an awesome opportunity to call them and say, hey, have you ever considered selling this property? I know it's for rent, but I'm an investor in the area. I'm looking to buy. Would you entertain an offer from me if I can get in there and take a look at it, right? The next one is for sale by owner, or FSBO. It's really the same as the for rent signs. You're going to see people who say for sale by owner. You can also jump onto different websites. Zillow has a for sale by owner section. Call those up. Call them up and see if they're willing to entertain a sale. Same as the MLS too. The MLS, I love expired listings for rentals. If their property didn't sell in the MLS, most of the time it's overpriced, or it's in such bad condition that they couldn't get a tenant in there. So you heard of the term tired landlords? Well, tired landlords are a really, really good way to find properties to buy. Another way with tired landlords is contact all the property managers in your city, right? Get a list of all the property management companies, email them and say, hey, I'm an investor. I would be interested if any of your landlords are looking to sell any of their properties that have become vacant, right? Some of those might have just been trash too. Maybe the tenant destroyed that property and now they just want to get it off their hands. They don't want the time of getting a realtor and listing a distressed property. So property managers is another good one. You can also, if you don't have the time to do this, there is certain subscription services or platforms that you can jump on and buy, like Investor Lift, myhousedeals.com. Those are ways to buy them. Generally, they're put on there from wholesalers, but you can always, scour those and take a look at those, right? Same as the for sale by owners, the subscription and the platforms is not a bad way to jump on and get your first one too, or really just get in the habit of evaluating deals. Another one, this one's a little bit outside the box, is pawn shops. Go into a pawn shop and ask them to leave a pre-made placard or a sticker that says, we buy houses, or need to sell your house fast. Ask the pawn shop if you could pay them 10 or 20 bucks to leave that placard up at the counter. Drop some business cards off that clearly state what you do. A lot of people who are going to pawn shops, they need money quickly, and they haven't thought about selling their house because it's in bad shape, right? So it's a great way to potentially drum up some business. Another outside the box one is bail bondsman. I learned of this method because a new wholesaler had brought me a deal, and it had a huge spread on there. And he told me one day he just walked into a bail bondsman and asked them if they had taken any properties back as collateral, and he managed to secure the deal, right? They have to get that property sold. They're not realtors. They're not really in the real estate business. So it's a pretty unique one, but you could just step into one in your area and just ask them if they ever take any houses back or if they've done it. And if that works, you could get a list, excuse me, of all the bail bondsmen, and just go through and systematically ask them, hey, I'm an investor. If you ever come across these, let me know. I'd be happy to take a look at them. One that costs a little bit more money is Facebook ads, SEO, PPC. This is, really once you start to generate your business and you got some capital coming in, it's not a bad way really for branding. You got your website, you got your Facebook. We used to use a website which was pre-made for real estate investors called Carrot. I believe it was called Carrot, and you actually do get some organic leads through that website too. But you can always, hire somebody to help you with Facebook ads, SEO, PPC. Another big one, it does again cost money, but it's very effective, especially if you're doing it on a mass scale. And again, go back and watch the video where I talk about, the secret sauce to being a real estate flipper is to also have wholesaling in your arsenal, because if you do create a really good lead system and you're only flipping a couple houses at a time, you can learn to monetize those deals, wholesale, right? So direct mail is a good one. We use a company called Postcard Mania. You can really hone it down to zip code, or you can supply them a list and they will send out the direct mail for you. Again, revert it back to those, those calling tools like Google Voice or CallRail, so you're not overloaded with calls, because you will get angry people who call about a flyer, right? They're upset that they got a flyer in the mail, which to me is crazy, but it does happen. So, have a way to direct those calls where you can return a call. And if you do it on a really big scale, there's also services specific to real estate that will answer those calls for you. Previously, we used a company called Call Porter, and Call Porter, I think it was about a couple $100 a month. They would answer all these calls as you brand it as your company. They'd record them. They'd send you the leads, and they could also schedule them for you and take all of that off the plate if that's something that intimidates you, answering these calls, right? The next one is cold calling. Cold calling is probably the first method that wholesalers use. They just got lists and they would go through and they would, call down these lists. Again, if you've got a little bit of capital and you want to outsource this, we've used a company called Vancom, and they've called for us, and they're great. They're trained. They're pretty specific to real estate, and they'll know all the scripts and how to talk to those sellers and really passing the lead over to you once they have an appointment. Another one is to learn to utilize lists, right? And you can kind of embed this with a lot of these different strategies. We had a lot of luck off city liens lists or absentee owner lists. Now the city liens, if their grass is grown, it's a good chance it's vacant or they're having trouble with it. So, find your city liens list, go to your county and figure out where you can get those, right? Another one, which is just a tool, you always want to be prospecting, is car magnets, right? Have magnets on your cars that say "We buy houses," "I flip houses," anything along those lines. Have your number on there, your call number, your Google Voice number, and you could be behind the correct person in traffic who needs to sell a property. It costs you 10, 20 bucks to go and get a company to make you a car magnet, or just jump online and find it. It's not a bad tool. Another one is anytime that you are working on a property, right? You have a flip property already, put a sign out in that yard. It says, "We buy houses fast." Put your number on there, right? It's free marketing. You own the house now. Put a bandit sign in there. Put a realtor sign that they put when they have for sale or for lease. Just buy one, keep it in the back of your car when you're working on a property. Stick it in the yard. You might get another house within that neighborhood. Another one, when you're talking about neighborhoods, is what we call bird dogs. And that's people who are out there always looking for houses for you. So your mailman, your FedEx man, your Amazon driver, all those guys who work consistently in that neighborhood, stop them, pull them over when they're in your neighborhood and say, "Hey, if you send me a property that I can buy on, I'll give you a referral fee. I'll give you $1,000. Text me the property, maybe send me a picture of it, if it's distressed." They work these houses all the time, right? They're delivering mail. They know some of the stories behind these properties. So it's not a bad tool to have it where they can recommend houses to you, and they're going to be happy if they get a referral fee from it. So another one that is it costs a little bit of money, but it's a very powerful tool, and we've done it for years, is text campaigns. Now you can use text campaigns to these lists that you've bought, or you can also get a list of realtors in your area, like I've suggested, and just run texting campaigns directly to everyone on that list, right? We've used Launch Control, Lead Sherpa, Textedly, so go ahead and utilize those. Along those lines also is another one, which is email campaigns. Email campaigns have always worked great for us for realtors. That same list every morning, you're sending out 50 to 100 emails to realtors to source a lead, okay? Another one is, if you don't have a lot of time and you're really just want to get that first deal, is join all your local Facebook groups. So just type in your city, here like Houston real estate investors. There's 20 plus groups of people pushing out deals and talking real estate. It's not a bad way to find deals. The next one would be word of mouth. So tell everybody at your church, or everybody at your children's school when you're waiting to pick them up, or everybody at your workplace that, I'm looking for a house to flip. Word of mouth is, just a tried and tested method. Realtors do it all the time, and they get a lot of their business from, the places that they work every single day. Okay, another one that you should just get in the habit of doing every morning or every couple days is posting on Craigslist. Just make a "We Buy Houses" sign on Craigslist and post that in different groups. It's a pretty easy way to do it. Just have some templates that you utilize. But also Craigslist can be used for, again, people posting for rent signs. Refer back to, if it's vacant, they're losing money. So utilize Craigslist just for that. Another one which I really like is probate attorneys. Now, probate attorneys are responsible for dealing with all the matters of hand for an estate sale. So find all the probate attorneys and send them an email and say, "Hey, we're a real estate investor. Do you ever come across these properties that we can offer on to get them off your hands?" Another one is LinkedIn. We've used LinkedIn a lot to message probate attorneys. It's also great to just build your profile, say that you're an investor, and message agents and anyone within the industry to find leads that way. So this one is one that I love. I've been utilizing this for years, and we've always taught to do this. And it is using door stickers and door hangers to put them on houses, distressed houses, as you're driving these neighborhoods, right? If you see a house with overgrown grass and the mail's stuffed in the mailbox, the roof is completely shot, put a little door sticker on there, right? You can use a prepaid hanger. We've gone on to sites like Vistaprint and had 10,000 of them made up for pretty cheap. But I've actually found that just handwriting with a Sharpie on a sticker, a bigger sticker, I'd be interested in buying this house cash. Please give me a call. I find that is a huge way to get leads, and it's pretty much free, right? If you're using the sticker. It's just when you're in a neighborhood looking at a house, just zigzag and find all the houses which are distressed and put that sticker directly on there. Now, these next two methods, radio ads and TV ads, they can be a little bit expensive. So again, once you get a little bit of capital in there, you can utilize them. There is ways that you can go in there and shop for times which aren't being utilized heavily and get discounts and get fairly decently priced time slots for radio and TV ads. But it might be something that you want to do once you're a little bit more seasoned. But again, they're great tools. Some of these real estate guys, they've advertised late at night, right? If you try to sell your house to someone's awake at 1 a.m., they might not be working. They might need to sell their house. So another one is sponsorships. Sponsorships is a great way where you create your brand. You can do local real estate events. Just have a sponsored way. That way, we sponsor some charity events, golf events, and have a little stand there. Just kind of tell everybody what you're doing. So that's a really good one. This one I really like. It's estate sales and garage sales. Now, if you're driving in a neighborhood and you see an estate or a garage sale, it's great to get out there and talk to the homeowner. Just say, hey, have you ever considered an offer on the house, right? If they're doing an estate sale or garage sale, it's quite possible that they need some capital. Now, this one is something you should all be doing straight away. I don't think anyone has an excuse not to be able to find a local real estate event, a local real estate meetup that you can't get to. Some of them are in the evenings, some of them are on the weekends. And by finding a deal, really what I mean is just network with other investors. A lot of investors, as you build rapport with them and become friendly with them, they might have deals that they can't operate at that time, and they'll give you an opportunity to buy on them or even partner on them. You never know. But going to real estate events is absolutely key. I would do that straight away. This next one is good to start with, but I think as you move on in your journey, utilize some of these other tools, and that's currently, it's using wholesalers. So there's some national wholesalers out here. Here we have one called Net Worth, and we do actually plan on interviewing some of the Net Worth guys at some of the properties, and New Western. Some of those are national wholesalers. You can go meet with them, get on their list, and see a constant flow of property. Also, just Google wholesale houses in your area and just learn some of the bigger wholesalers. It's not a bad way to get deals just to quickly evaluate. Another one is contractors and GCs, right? If you have a good contractor, ask them if they know of any deals as you're driving in neighborhoods. If you see a house being worked on, it's clearly an investor, stop off and just have a little conversation with that contractor. Ask them if they ever come across any deals. Ask them if they work with investors. It's you never know, right? Another one is speak to neighbors of distressed houses, right? If you're feeling a little bit brave and you see a house which has clearly been abandoned, those neighbors want those houses gone. So I would just knock on the door, again, if you're brave enough, and just ask them if they know the owner and know a little bit of history on that property. You will be absolutely mind blown at how many neighbors just want to talk and talk and talk about that property and about how much of a pain in their backside it is, and give you the number potentially of the homeowner. We've actually found one time where they actually owned the property, and it was a family member, and they had passed away, and they had just let it sit there and decay. So you never know what you're going to find. You can also ask that that neighbor if they've got any other properties in the area that they know about which need to be bought. A lot of them just love to give insight. So, and the last one here is driving for dollars. Now, driving for dollars is, again, something you should implement all the time. Every time you go look at a property, write down the addresses of all the distressed houses. I mean, you got to think about it. You've put a sticker on the property, you've got their address. Now you can do something called skip tracing, and you can find that seller's details pretty easily. We've used one called skipgenie.com, but there's a ton of them. By skip tracing, it's just looking up the owner, their number, their email, and you could put them in a text campaign. You could jump on a call and give them a call, ask them if they're looking to sell the house. You could drop them a text message. There's so many different ways, and why that data is so useful to have. There's also some programs you can use, one called Deal Machine. It allows you to take a picture of the property and actually mail them a postcard. And it also pulls up all their details. So driving for dollars is a big one. I really hope you guys enjoyed just some of these brainstorming ideas on 30 plus ways to find your next flip house, we're going to keep doing these videos really just to kind of help you guys crack that that important aspect of lead generation. If you guys can think of any others, let's really build up a community here. Drop some other ideas in the comments below of ways that you've heard of or ways that you've personally found deals. And it's going to be great that we can all kind of work together to come up with different ideas that people haven't thought of.